Good afternoon, everyone. And thank you very much for coming. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Peter Foss. I'm the president of the University of New Orleans, and it's a pleasure to be here today. I have a few prepared remarks, and then I'll take a few questions. As a very proud and concerned alumnus, I have followed the university for the past several years, especially after Hurricane Katrina. I also paid close attention to what occurred after the economic downturn and the resulting significant reduction in state funding. Since my selection as president on December 9th, 2011, I have worked tirelessly to address the challenges that this university faces. The situation with athletics is only one of many challenges and decisions that I and the university family must address. I must add that this decision is not the most important challenge we have, but it's by far the most visible. More pressing issues include declining enrollment, needed improvements in student services, both academic and student life improvements, maintaining research productivity, faculty compensation, and completing the capital improvement projects on our campus that we've been doing since Hurricane Katrina. When I was selected as president, I was notified that I would make the final decision whether the University of New Orleans would continue to transition to Division II or remain as a Division I member. I actually have spent an inordinate amount of time researching, talking to people, and evaluating all the information and data I could obtain. Today, I'd like to announce that the University of New Orleans will remain a member of Division I. The University of New Orleans has been a member of Division I for the past 36 years, with a legacy of success. For example, as late as 2007, the university baseball team was selected to play in the NCAA Regional. In 1984, the University of New Orleans baseball team was the first school in Louisiana to go to the College World Series, many years before other Louisiana teams. The University of New Orleans men's basketball teams over the years won many Sun Belt Conference championships and made several trips to the NCAA tournament. I'd like to mention a few things about this decision. It's simply not about winning games or winning conference championships. This decision is about the university fully recovering from the effects of Hurricane Katrina and economic downturn. The decision is about the University of New Orleans' future, which I feel is very bright. The decision is about working to improve enrollment, which in part is influenced by a viable, successful athletic program, a program that will hopefully receive the media attention as it did before the transition begun to Division II. And you fellows in the media, you can help me with this. This decision about the University of New Orleans is about becoming, in 5 years, the premier university in the University of Louisiana system in all aspects, including athletics. This decision is about the long term, not the short term. This decision is about the University of New Orleans moving forward, not backwards. The decision is about the University of New Orleans being fully engaged with the city of New Orleans in its efforts to become a better city post-Katrina. The decision also is about bringing together alumni and supporters from all over the city of New Orleans. I have just a few other brief comments that maybe will answer some of your questions. The university will add 4 new sports, which will be required to maintain our Division I membership. These are men's outdoor track, women's outdoor track, men's indoor track, and women's indoor track. I've been in conversation with 2 conferences for potential affiliations. At this time, I've been asked not to mention specifically which conferences, but a conference affiliation is highly likely. The University of New Orleans must report to the NCAA information for the past 2.5 years that it has indeed behaved as a Division I member. This includes calculation of the academic progress of scholarship athletes which is known as the APR. Been calculated since beginning the transition to Division II. Since the transition to Division II, the university has stopped transferring funds from the operating budget to the athletic department. I will begin to again transfer funds to support athletics. These funds will be at a level that the university will be competitive and successful in athletics. These funds will not come from academics or vital student affairs activities. I'm a past academic dean and executive vice president of academics. I will not take a penny from academics to support athletics. In total, I plan to transfer less than 2% of the university's total operating budget to athletics. Now, I expect increases in enrollment as a result of us playing NCAA Division I with the proper media attention, and my expectation is that these increases will cover any funds that I transfer from the operating fund. All current student athletes will be evaluated on a case-by-case basis to determine their compliance for Division I competition. I've authorized athletic department staff to work with each student athlete to make certain that the least amount of harm occurs with respect to their academic and student careers. Athletic and academic careers, excuse me. The University of New Orleans previously asked and was accepted as a member of the Gulf South Conference, which is a Division II conference. Currently, we are a provisional member. I've been in communication with the conference's commission as late as this morning, and I've told them the university will do whatever it needs to do to fulfill all its commitments. This includes scheduling. I will ask the athletic department staff to work on this issue. I have contacted recently a retired Division I athletic director with over 40 years' experience in athletic administration, to help the university determine where we are now and where we need to go in the future to ensure a successful Division I athletic program. I will meet with this individual Monday to discuss specifics of this consultation. Playing football at the NCAA level remains an aspiration for the University of New Orleans. As plans are set today, we are planning to play at the NCAA level in 2015. I think with this change in movement away from Division II and remaining Division I could possibly delay this maybe a year. All supporters of football need to understand that the university will need an additional $3 to $4 million a year to have a competitive football program. These are monies that I do not have. The Poverty Athletic Foundation and all supporters will have to step up to help in this initiative. I'd like to thank everyone who answered my questions, who gave their opinion and historical perspective, and who provided me with information. This in particular includes Athletic Director Amy Champion and her staff. We have several other people to thank. Please let me get my piece of paper. I need to thank all the city officials who've given me support. In particular, State Representative from District 99, Mr. Wesley Bishop, President of New Orleans City Council, at-large member Jackie Clarkson, and Council members Cynthia Hedge Morrell, who I learned today was a UNO alum, who couldn't be here with us today, but representing her is Ms. Tina Matoya. I will take a few questions. Yes?
You say you can't mention the conference that you're looking at, but is it your hope that you'll be playing the bigger in-state schools like Southeastern, McNeese, Nichols, those schools?
Yes.
That's all.
Okay.
Will the issue of a student athletic fee increase, will you tackle that again, Dr. Foster?
I don't need to do that, Ed, to support athletics. Going forward, I think we have football in particular. Student referendum may be one of the things we need to find an additional $3 to $4 million. But finding new monies in the budget and reallocation of some monies that wasn't essential, I don't need a student referendum to continue to be Division I and at the level it was before.
When you say less than 2%, can you give us a kind of a ballpark?
Well, our budget is $124 million.
Is the school in a better shape now than it was a couple of years ago when the decision was made to drop down in division, or if you just have different budget priorities now, or how are you able to shift that money?
Sure. Well, if you've paid attention, the governor's executive budget has requested no cuts in higher education. That's wonderful. And anticipate that budget will happen. So in prior years, they were facing cuts and no new cuts every year. I'm hoping that this is a sign that the governor will continue to fund higher education. So we're not planning for a cut. So the situation is much different.
Being part of the UL system, does it make it easier to make this decision? And you have the support of Dr. Moffitt and the rest of the hierarchy?
Yes, I have the full support of Dr. Moffitt and the board. And because from their perspective, all the other 8 sister institutions play NCAA at Division I. We would be the only school in the system that played at Division II. The only school in a major U.S. city not playing Division I. So yes, I've had the full support of the board as well as Dr. Moffitt.
Would you like to speak, please, to the free advertising you get from Division I, especially if you're successful at it? What do you think you can do for the university?
What evidence has showed that successful athletic programs increases enrollment. Let me just tell you a little bit more specifics about enrollment. We were almost 18,000 before Hurricane Katrina. This spring we 10,000. I just figured the math on that. A lot of our budget comes from tuition and student fees. So I have to do whatever I can to increase enrollment. There's lots of evidence that says successful programs. Chancellor Martin at LSU came out in a newspaper article right after the BCS championship game saying they had historical numbers of applications for LSU this year. And they didn't do anything different in recruiting students other than their team went to the BCS championship. So I'm confident that a successful athletic program will increase my enrollment. Especially, by the way, I need to tell you people in the media, when I took over as president, was selected on December 9th, I started really paying attention to what y'all said about UNO. For athletics, since yesterday's the most publicity we've gotten since December 9th. I'm not accusing you, but other than those little bitty things, UNO 6, Pensacola 5. Okay, right, Coach? Where are you? Tulane opens up their spring practice, and there's a full-page picture of the coach the day after we won a basketball game, and we got a little thing like this. He's on the front page of your sports page. So I need to have the exposure, and I think I understand that I need to play Division I to get that exposure.
In addition, do you believe you'll be able to bring back some of the better athletes? I understand you've lost approximately 95 athletes.
Yes.
Since the decision to go to D2?
Right. Well, it's up to my coaches. They now can go recruit Division I qualified student athletes. Remember, they're student athletes. We have to qualify them on their student ability. And we have the funds to have more scholarships. My basketball coach is in here. I saw him earlier. If y'all have votes for Coach of the Year, please vote for him. He had 3 scholarships. Wait, let me tell you. He had 3 scholarships when he got here, 2 players. He got here in June. He played 8 Division I teams, ended up 17 and 16. Okay? With 3 every team he played, everyone else on the team had a scholarship, including Xavier. Okay? So I'm freeing up my coaches to find the best athletes to make sure every one of my programs is successful.
And do you have the facilities in place right now to support Division I athletics and support staff?
Well, part of the transfer of money is that we actually need more staff. We actually have bare bones is actually an overstatement of the staff we have now. My staff does 8 jobs each of them. So we'll transfer enough funds that we can begin to have the staff we need that Division I needs to be successful. The budgets will be July 1, so they can start interviewing people soon for July 1 starts.
Can you go over that timeline again, and are you going to face any kind of sanctions?
Oh, good question.
NCAA?
I hope not. Since we are going to remain Division I, NCAA, we have to report to the NCAA that in the last 2 years, we have been behaving as if we were Division I, which is tracking the academic progress of the scholarship athletes. In Division II, you don't have to do that. It's not a requirement. So we didn't do it. So we have to go back and calculate all those things. I have no idea what the APR is. Wouldn't be surprised if it was low in some sports. Because when athletes left us, that counts against our APR. So I don't really know what it's going to be. Now, FedEx a letter yesterday to Mr. Steve Maloney, who's the Division I membership coordinator for NCAA, as well as to Dr. Mark Emmett, and I requested an extension to the Katrina waiver for 1 year. I don't, we can flip a coin, I guess, for their decision, but I will follow up to see if they'll give me 1 more year.
Is it possible you may have to sit out a year because of?
What I was told on the phone by Mr. Maloney that possible sanctions are probation, which means no post-season competition. But I don't think we have to sit out.
You guys have for a couple more?
Can't you get like an APR waiver, Dr.
That's what we're trying to do. That was the letter I sent yesterday. FedEx did yesterday. Yes, 1 more year.
So you could be in compliance.
Yes, and I hope that they say okay.
Any decision on will you be retaining your current AD?
No decisions have been made yet relative to any staff, actually.
But you're bringing in somebody to help transition back.
I'm bringing him in as a consultant, and I'll use and I respect his advice, and I've known him for many years. So we'll just see what he has to say. No one's lost their job.
When will you be able to fill in some of the blanks here as far as who that person is and what division?
Well, let me meet him. Let me meet him Monday and make sure he's going to do it for me. We had a telephone conversation. He says, "I'd love to help you, but let's talk over dinner." So I'll tell you Tuesday morning.
Would it be somebody that those of us in Louisiana would recognize the name?
Well, he's not in Louisiana, but you would recognize his name. Okay. Any other questions? I appreciate everyone coming, and I look forward to a successful athletic program here at the University of New Orleans.
Anybody can get Dr. Cross one-on-one. He's got time for a few one-on-ones if they're interested.